not so Fermi paradox. The following is a series of presumptions we do not see directly any evidence of yet. Placing this in perspective is important. There are billions of stars in the Milky Way. Some are similar to the Sun. Many of those are also billions of years older than the Sun. That is a derivative answer. Continuing. Some have planets and therefore would be millions of years older, would be much older than ours. Yes, I'm correcting it, by the way. Some have Earth-like habitable zone planets as well, and those are also that age. Some may have developed intelligent life now and or long ago. Some may have had a civilization, or many. Some may have developed interstellar travel. Okay, we're getting into that zone. The galaxy can be completely traversed within a few million years. The Earth should have already been visited by probes or visitors. There is no convincing evidence this has happened. Working backwards. The Earth has volcanic activity. What is the most likely place for a probe to land? Now think about it this way. It's an automated probe. It's not communicating back and forth to anybody. We're not assuming subspace communications. Okay, we're assuming conventional shit we know about now. That is a giant limitation on any of this working. And if you're not aware of it, no, we don't have the ability to leave the solar system or even really explore the entire solar system in a way that would be of a value that we would have. We already have this problem. But let's assume we want to probe. Okay, what is the most efficient way to get a probe out of our solar system? We've already done it. You slingshot them out of our solar system into the galaxy itself, aiming towards particularly a dead piece of space in front of you. You want it not to run into anything for a long time and then find something and send a message back. That's a presumption here. Or you want it to hit something, so you figure out where that thing will be someday. That means you have to be able to figure out where it will be. And you have to aim it towards a planet that's orbiting a star instead of just looking at stars close up instead of looking at them through a telescope, which there may be no value to that. So yeah, now we're running into the practicalities that we know now. Where is everybody? Where are all the aliens? Where are the radio signals? Let's get that radio signal thing out of the way. A radio signal transmitted from the Earth at max wattage for propaganda purposes by the Russians isn't able to be detected by the Voyager probe. Because it's already gone past, right? We can put off a powerful transmission to test this, and we can receive and send signals from the Voyager probe, obviously. But would somebody pick it up out of the noise? The noise level, the grass down here, the little fuzzy stuff at the bottom of the scope you're looking at in sci-fi movies, we call that the grass. Here's your signal, here's the noise. The signal to noise ratio has to be pretty freaking incredible for you to pick it up. And you have to be listening to that signal. And you need to have, a narrowband signal if you're trying to send something efficiently. Or is it wideband? You're going to have to go look up all of this stuff, but the fact is that passively generated noise from our planet from commercial radio stations is nowhere near enough to get past Jupiter. Nobody set up a ham station on one of the Voyager probes, but there's a lot of space to go through, and it's not blocking it, it spreads out. It radiates, hence the term radio. So let's get that out of the way. No, you're not going to hear the noise from a distant civilization orbiting a star talking anything. The transmissions aren't going to get here. It doesn't matter if you like that answer. Yes, someone is going to post that they know that that's not true. The quality of radio receiving equipment we have had that would be able to detect anything that you're going to cite has only existed since maybe the late 80s. 90s, 2010. We have 40 years experience. That's a long time, right? No, it ain't shit. Let's talk about probes hitting Earth a long time ago when we were banging rocks together. By the way, that's how you make an axe blade. Go watch the video game Rust, and then watch the good games that show you how to make an axe blade. Here we go. Your backyard, if you dug it up, how deep would you have to go to run into some piece of technology? How deep would it be? All right, that's 300 years, all the way to 10,000. There are 10,000-year-old plots in the ground that are only maybe 10, 20 feet deep because the silt layering or whatever doesn't happen over a long period of time, or it happened and then it got deteriorated away and it peels back and goes back over it. How deep do you have to go for 1 million years? What happens to things that are 1 million years old? A 1 million-year-old probe, which ain't shit to an Earth that's... We're billions of years old now. How deep would that be? What kind of material? Would it fossilize? Would it be crushed and melted? Well, you don't see any evidence of something that would have been using what we would call high-tech wizardry, silicon diodes and microchips. Take a computer, the whole computer, chop it up into pieces, do it now, run it through a grinder. I mean, throw it into a grinding machine, then throw that into a grinding machine to make things half a centimeter across. Now, mix it with 5 pounds of dirt, or 10 pounds, or 100 pounds. Now, try to find the goddamn computer again. It's not impossible to locate, but would you notice it overtly if you were digging a trench to plant corn? Now imagine that happening involving volcanism. Or just being in the bottom of the sea because probes might land in the ocean. Or they might do something else. Probes that land can't take off. They would stay in orbit and burn up. The Earth should have already been visited by probes or visitors. Why would a visitor land? It takes a pornographically large amount of energy to leave a planet's orbit. Staying in orbit is insanely efficient in some cases. Look at how long we can keep shit up in the air by just having it go around the Earth. It's going on what appears to be gravitationally a straight line. It's bent by time-space. That's how gravity works. At least that's the current way of explaining it. It's not the theory about it. That's how we explain it, and that's how you have to kind of visualize it to get things right mathematically. Doesn't mean it's true, but it probably is. Let's do that idea. No, they're not going to land. Why the fuck would you think that? Well, we want them to land because, damn it, my friend Fred and his cousin Egbert were probed. No one fucking cares about your weird closeted fantasies. Just go. We don't want to know about your fucking search history. None of the visitations on this planet have to be true. Yes, I'm saying those people could be lying or just wrong, depending on how you want to couch the argument, so you can say, for the children, or some other emotional appeal, but we don't have to be visited. Next, obviously, if you're not aware of it, visiting us when we are doing something interesting, like detonating H-bombs or whatever, would make sense by not landing. Oh, look, they're detonating incredibly dangerous, toxic shit. Let's go down and walk around in it. You're soaking in the radiation that was released by atom bombs going off when we were doing that. Yes, you are. No, I don't want to hear about Fukushima. I don't care what you're saying. People who scream Fukushima but don't bring up Nagasaki and Hiroshima, shut the fuck up. You're off the list. Okay. We're exposed to radioactive material constantly. And we're suffering from it. We're also adapting to it, which may be the reason we've adapted to, I don't know, uranium in the ground literally everywhere. This planet is incredibly unfriendly to certain kinds of life that are on it. Why would you assume a foreign living thing would want to come here? Really? That's your argument? Okay, I'm going to say one word and you're fucking wrong. COVID. We're not able to defend ourselves from the shit on this planet sometimes. Why the fuck would anybody... No, they don't have to land. That's not a have to. We should have been visited by probes that would have never landed, so we would have evidence where. Okay, that's done. Yes, that takes a long time. I'm sorry. But let's get rid of that damn argument. That's literally the crux of the matter. We should have been visited. There should be probes or something. We should have had alien visitors. This was an idea that was come up with while someone was having a casual conversation via messaging and mail, and maybe even in person a couple of times. And it's kind of like, well, where are all the aliens? Why would you assume they would even come here? If you could come to this planet, what would you come here for? To get rid of every human, wait for the planet to be less toxic, and then mine the shit out of it or occupy it. For all you know, we're the aliens that landed here. That's one of the hypotheses people came up with. Yeah, they did land, and we're it. And the planet made us change because the planet isn't going to change for a species. The species has to adapt to it. Everything on this planet has adapted to the planet. I'm not kidding. That's the most logical answer. If you want, need. desperately for ancient aliens to be here. You're looking at them when you walk around. Please watch the series or read the book Martian Chronicles, or the series Martian Chronicles. A galaxy can be completely traversed in a few million years. Why? Because you're going to build city-sized ships and somehow have them achieve a stellar escape velocity to leave a solar system. Yes, that's a fucking oxymoron. And then you're going to travel from a perfectly functional planet you can live on and not do this shit and doom your children and your great-great-grandchildren to being spacefaring so that they can achieve what you wanted. You may have just understood why that won't be done, unless you're an asshole. Those are multi-generational ships going from one star system to another. It takes one human lifespan to get to the nearest star. Okay, what's the next nearest? 5 lifespans. It's not a practical thing. Well, what if we create high-speed travel? The faster you go, the more energy you have to produce, the more energy you have to take with you in some concentrated form. That means nuclear or fusion. And in spite of what you might think, using a really light element with less matter in it to propel things, it may not be more efficient than a heavier element being split. Some may have developed interstellar travel. Again, no, that's a dumb assumption. Some may have had civilizations. Hi there, reference point to the Earth. We've had hundreds of them, and they've all fallen after being up to a certain point due to what we are unfortunately having to say. Most of them we don't know why they fell, so we don't even know fucking why we can't keep this shit straight. See also the last 3 years, and 100 years ago, almost exactly, where human beings showed how stupid they can be in a crisis and why I fucking hate people sometimes. Yes, put on a mask and stay away from each other is good advice. No, we didn't like it. And yes, you were politically motivated if you objected to doing it. You can complain all you want to, but just do it anyway. Wear the face mask when working with the battery acid, okay? No, I don't care that you don't like it. You're going to. There are billions of stars in the Milky Way that are similar to the sun, but not all of them are old enough to have a planet that's in the Goldilocks zone. This is an extremely vanishingly tiny number. It's not 0, but it's tiny. Why would you assume, after all of that shit, habitable zone and everything, that they would develop intelligent life as if that's a goal? People keep assuming intelligent life is the end game for a species. Okay. Whales are intelligent, and I don't know if you understand this, but by every measure we can do, except being able to talk to them directly, they're probably very much intelligent, at least as intelligent as a human. And I've said at least. But they live in an ocean. They don't need to build buildings. They don't need to deal with making clothing. They don't have an impetus or a motivation to do any of the things that made us develop these nearly useless fucking paws. All right? Seriously, in case you haven't noticed it, unless you're an Olympic gymnast, we can't swing from trees, and these don't have any fucking claws on them. We make our claws. Whales don't need to make claws. The reason they're intelligent is they just live so long and communicate so much, because they're social creatures, and have to come up with clever ways of doing it, sound over hundreds of miles, for instance, that they become more intelligent. There are lots of creatures on this planet that are a better model. Like literally every ape, and a bunch of you out there are really uncomfortable with it. And you know what they do? They do what works to survive, and that doesn't involve making transistor radios and I got to do the quote, and really nifty digital watches. Yes, that's a Hitchhiker's Guide thing. An intelligent life form doesn't have to go into space or leave evidence. An intelligent species wouldn't leave garbage in the ground. We'd be recycling it. Your idea of, well, that sounds like, yes, liberals are right on the definition of what intelligent is because everybody else is wrong. I don't care if you like it. Yes, that's in Z formation. Anyway, if they had civilizations and they developed the ability to leave their planet and study it, they might have advanced past our stage where we assume that we can leave this planet for fucking whatever reason to go find another planet to go fuck up. No, intelligent life doesn't have to show itself, and even if it did, we wouldn't have evidence because landing on the planet is stupid compared to just sending off probes like we do. Landing a probe does not leave much evidence or any. And in case you haven't noticed it, most of the probes that we've sent out won't last even 50 years on those chunks of ground. Unless they have no habitable zone. Shit rusts. So anyway, that's the video. This is a stupid subject, and that's my angry rant about it. Sorry if this offends anybody. Kinda.